by striking what it calls Hamas terrorist targets across the Gaza Strip.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. At least 33 Palestinians have been killed. Hamas condemns that as a shocking massacre. A new Fox News poll is critical of both Republicans and Democrats over the government shutdown, and President Trump's approval rating has dropped 5 points down to 41%.
Economically, 52% of voters said inflation is not under control and that groceries, healthcare, utilities, housing, and gas all cost more than a year ago.
Fox's Gernal Scott. An economic report delayed by the shutdown comes out this hour. The September jobs update expected to show an increase in hiring from August. The unemployment rate perhaps remaining 4.3%. We won't get a jobs report for October. Hiring last month will be added to the November update. Its release has been pushed back to the middle of next month. America's listening to Fox.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you got to make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Two former presidents and 4 ex-vice presidents will go to the Washington National Cathedral later this morning to pay their final respects to former Vice President Dick Cheney, though President Trump, a critic of Cheney and his daughter, will not be.
The funeral service for former Vice President Dick Cheney takes place at the Washington National Cathedral, a historic site used for the funerals of former presidents like George H.W. Bush and Ronald Reagan. Former President George W. Bush is expected to attend Cheney's funeral and will speak, as will Cheney's daughter, former Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Former President Biden is expected to attend the service as well. Before he was VP, Cheney served as Defense Secretary, and before that, he was Chief of Staff to President Ford. He also served as a Wyoming congressman. Cheney died earlier this month due to complications from pneumonia, cardiac and vascular disease. He was 84. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A White House meeting tomorrow will get a lot of attention. President Trump will sit down with New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani after they had traded swipes at each other during the campaign.
Mamdani vowing to Trump-proof the city, Trump labeling the Democratic Socialist a communist and threatening to deport him. Trump says it's a meeting requested by Mamdani. Mamdani's spokeswoman says the mayor-elect wants to discuss public safety, economic security, and his affordability agenda.
That's Fox's Gary Baumgarten. On Wall Street, ahead of the jobs report, stock futures are surging. Country music stars shined last night at the CMA Awards on ABC, where the host, Lainey Wilson, was also the big winner. Entertainer of the Year. She also won for album and vocalist of the female vocalist of the year. Cody Johnson got the CMA Award for male vocalist of the year.
When I was a little kid, I taped a little microphone on the side of my bunk bed, and I would sing everything from Boys to Men to Merle Haggard, and I tried to imitate everybody in between.
Brooks and Dunn, vocal duo of the year. The Red Clay Strays won for vocal group. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Thursday. It is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Thanks for joining us for the Morning News on November 20th, 2025. Show producer Zach Cantu and AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. He's on standby, going to bring the heat for a couple of days and give us the play-by-play on the next cold front. I'm Sergio Sanchez. Appreciate you joining us today. Here's another look at the new Republican congressional maps taken down by the courts. For now, they might not be applied for the next congressional election.
Federal court blocking, this brand new congressional map, saying it is unconstitutional, and ruling that it can't be used in the upcoming midterms next year, which was the entire point of even redrawing maps to begin with to help the GOP protect its thin majority in the U.S. House. So how did we get here? Well, it started with a 3-judge panel appointed by Presidents Obama, Reagan, and Trump, ruling that Texas racially discriminated in drawing its 2025 congressional districts.
That's reporter Javier Walton. Meantime, Texas Democrats, they're not taking a victory lap just yet after that El Paso court temporarily shut down the new maps for Texas.
The maps would likely have given the GOP 5 more congressional seats. Longtime Austin area Congressman Lloyd Doggett had said he would not run for re-election. Now he says he will. SMU political scientist Cal Jilson says what happens next is up to the Supreme Court. He says over the last decade, the High Court has said state legislative drawing of maps needs to be respected.
And the federal courts need to largely stay out of that, particularly if the purpose of the redrawing is political rather than racial.
The state claimed it redrew the maps for political reasons. Jilson says 90% of African Americans vote for Democrats, and the new maps dilute their voting strength. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
And critics of the court decision in El Paso say that no one is born Democrat or Republican, and voting strength is simply a function of choice. It's 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. In other news, South Texas note, City of Weslaco has a new city manager. Javier Salinas was picked for the position this week. Salinas served as the assistant city manager under Martin Garza, who announced his retirement back in May. In Central Texas, up in San Antonio, more than 24 suspected members of a Venezuelan gang are in custody following an immigration raid this past weekend. Homeland Security, ICE, FBI, they served a warrant at a facility, an after-hours club that was frequented by Tenderagua, the gang. The Department of Homeland Security saying 27 of the more than 150 illegal aliens detained have ties to Tenderagua. Officers also confiscated drugs and guns and thousands of dollars in cash. It's 7:08 on the Valley's Morning News. And if you have Amazon Prime Video is rolling out a new feature powered by artificial intelligence.
The tool known as Video Recaps uses generative AI to recall a show's most important plot points, then creates a visual summary for the viewer. Each recap has synchronized narration, dialogue, and music. A beta feature is available on select Prime original shows. Additional support for the feature is set to come in the later months. I'm Mark Mayfield.
It's News Talk 710 KURV. It is AccuWeather with the time. And we want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Purina Antler Banks for rut season. Martin Farm and Ranch, certified dealer, and they got some great deals as well. Stop by, say hello to Dougie for us. It's Martin Farm and Ranch. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina is joining us, and the heat continues all the way through Sunday. No change on that forecast, right, Jason? All the way through Sunday, then the cold front.
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
So
No,
Sunday night.
that front's going to hold a little longer than expected.
Okay.
So Monday looks like it's going to be hot too before it.
Oh
slows down
no!
some.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh,
it's lingering. It's
man.
lingering. So
This is why I'm afraid to ask follow-up questions the
well,
next
that's why
day.
you don't want to ask too early because
Yeah.
things change.
I know, man. That's the way it is.
The weather game always changes
Oh,
every day.
man.
So yeah,
No,
it looks like the front's just not going to make it through Monday, but it'll come through Tuesday and start to cool us down. By Wednesday, we'll be back in the 70s. But Monday and Tuesday still going to be quite warm for us.
Oof, all the air out of my balloon on that one. Wow. Okay.
There's still time. Keep those fingers crossed.
See, what I'm afraid of is maybe you coming back tomorrow and say, you know what, that thing I told you yesterday, that Wednesday before Thanksgiving is going to get cool. No.
Yeah, we're going to actually bump it up to 110.
And the next cold front will be on Christmas. Maybe. That's what I'm afraid of. You'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's just that front just does not. It's just going to hang to our north and just not make it through, and then we'll get a nice push through as we head through Thanksgiving and all the way into the weekend. At this point, it looks
still
like
dry though, right? That cool front that crosses Texas for us. It'll be dry.
For us, yes. To the north, there's flood watches up for San Antonio to Austin and points back to the northwest. all the way through Friday, through tomorrow, as a matter of fact, as the system up there is going to just kind of hang out and potentially dump some pretty strong rain there. So do be careful if you are headed northbound. Later today through tomorrow, there's going to be some strong storms capable of being on the severe side with damaging winds, flooding, downpours, hail, and even the chance for some tornadoes. So,
okay, when and where that again?
That's going to be San Antonio, Austin, and points northwest from there. So,
okay, by when?
The county that Eagle Pass is in,
West Texas.
Okay,
West
so
Texas.
so Uvalde over to San Antonio, then northeast up to Austin, and all the surrounding areas behind that.
Okay, so Central Texas, and then all the way west to Eagle Pass. When is that the dangerous?
The flood watch is in effect through 6 a.m. on Friday. Today and tonight, they could find some very strong thunderstorms.
All right, well, heads up on that. Meantime, I did mention earlier there was a national write-up saying that up northeast, nasty weather, like as people are getting ready to travel early in the week next week. Likely some snow, nasty rain. So I'm guessing that's the system that eventually pushes down the way down here on Wednesday, the bottom portion of that. So be careful if you're traveling up northeast, or pay attention to the weather if you're traveling up northeast for next week. All right, Jason, thanks for the update. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. And big thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Foreman Ranch for our AccuWeather 7 o'clock hour. Time is 7:12 on the Valley's Morning News. Other state news, Republicans are looking to make massive changes to the way the census is conducted.
The plan is being led by Texas Congressman Chip Roy, who is furious that illegal immigrants are counted the same as citizens. He says that rewards states that shield migrants from deportation.
If congressional seats were properly apportioned based on the number of citizens, Republican states would gain between 10 and 12 seats in the House of Representatives.
He says in the 2020 census, there was an overcount in 8 states, 7 of which are Democratic. Democrats say this is all being pushed by President Trump, who has also rallied for redistricting as a way to increase Republicans' power in Washington.
Google is getting even bigger, and a lot of that growth taking place here in Texas. Governor Greg Abbott recently announcing that Google will be investing $40 billion to build 3 massive AI data centers statewide. That is the largest such investment in Texas history.
AI and cloud operations across the country shifting, critical infrastructure away from Silicon Valley and expected to create hundreds of jobs. Google's not alone in investing in Texas, the AI boom here. Friday's announcement comes days after Anthropic, the startup behind Claude AI, said it would invest $50 billion in New York, in data centers in New York and Texas as well. So they're going to go online throughout the next year or so, which, as we know, is going to be here before you know it. AI could double nationwide power demand by 2030, and Texas is the guinea pig. ERCOT, the state's grid operator, can now cut off large users if supply runs low. Google says it is adding solar and battery storage to take some stress off the grid, but experts say this is just the start of a national reckoning over energy and AI.
That's reporter Stephen Walton. Walmart is raising its revenue outlook for the year after a strong third quarter, they say. A new study claims that the first kiss happened at least 16 million years ago. The study published Wednesday claimed that the practice of pressing lips together likely began with primates. They say it probably began in the Netherlands. Texas regulators are pressing ahead with new rules for the state's booming hemp industry, even as a federal crackdown threatens to upend the industry in the near future.
The TABC has advanced permanent regulations that would replace emergency rules barring sales to anyone under 21. The move comes days after Congress approved a funding bill that bans hemp products containing more than 0.4 milligrams of THC, a limit that would make most of the $8 billion Texas industry illegal when it takes effect next November. Governor Greg Abbott ordered the stricter rules in September after lawmakers failed to agree on a regulatory plan. The Texas Department of State Health Services has already adopted emergency ID check requirements that could lead to license revocations for violators. Industry groups say they expect challenges to the new federal limits.
And it seems that your affiliation to a party politics, appears to have an influence on the health decisions that parents are making for kids.
The Pew Research Center surveyed about 5,000 U.S. adults and found over 70% of Republicans believe parents should decide which vaccines should be given to children, compared to only 46% of Democrats, who believe medical experts should play a larger role in childhood vaccine policy decisions. The data shows a majority from both sides agree that childhood vaccines are effective at preventing serious illness, though there is less support from Republicans for school vaccine requirements. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And the U.S. authorizing the export of advanced artificial intelligence computer chips to companies in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. This on the heels of a meeting between the president and the crown prince in Saudi Arabia that also President Trump announced Saudi Arabia committed over $1 trillion in new investment in the U.S. Time is 7:16. This is the Valley's Morning News on Newstalk 710 KURV. Have a chance to speak live in studio with our mayor for Edinburg. Now that he's officially on the job, on the gig, is he now losing a lot of sleep? When does he have time to sleep now that he's managing his office, his family, and yes, the city? That's next on 710 KURV.
With Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV is your home in South Texas for Houston Texan football. So we got the Texans tonight, 6:45 broadcast. The Texans and the Bills, Buffalo Bills, 6:45 broadcast on 710 KURV. Hope you can join us. And we will be with the Houston Texan radio network, not the NFL Thursday night network. So they'll sound a little better with Vandermeer. In the studio, our new mayor for Edinburg, Omar Ochoa, got sworn in last week, and we're going to take a look at the to-do list now. So what do you think, Mayor? Now it's a honeymoon period for you over at City Hall.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm getting all kinds of messages, text messages, Facebook messages, and they are all still friendly and positive.
Yeah, that will soon change. All the electorate, they're so fickle. Okay, so what's the priority list now?
There's a lot, to tell you the truth. I'll tell you kind of what I've done already, right? So I've already met with the management team several times, and when I refer to management team, that's city managers, assistant city managers, and the legal team. And the idea is to come up with a priority list and an agenda that's fully available to the public, so they can see what it is that we are prioritizing. Me coming into this, I just want to make sure that I understand where the city is and what direction it's currently heading in, so that I can work with them to make sure that what we're shaping is something that's feasible, something that we can explain, and is ready to move forward.
So that study period that you want to take inventory, how long you want to dedicate? Like 90 days?
90 days, exactly
Okay.
right. Yeah. And so included in all of that is I'll be having one-on-one meetings with each director of each department in the city of Edinburgh to learn specifically from them what their priorities are, what they've seen. I will also be meeting with residents and resident groups to hear from residents as well what it is that they want and how they want to see the city of Edinburgh move forward. I'm coming in with my own ideas as well. I mean, we were running a campaign we were emphasizing infrastructure investments, wanting to identify streets that need to get repaved and widened, developing master planning for master growth, for a thoroughfare plan, for a parks plan, for an airport plan, drainage plan, kind of on down the line. And all of these things are still items and issues that we want to push through. So, it's just one comprehensive agenda that we want to create so that we can keep accountability with the residents.
What's the surplus at the bank account for the city right now? Some kind of ballpark figure.
Good question. I have
Yeah.
not met with the finance
Okay.
director yet. So
Yeah.
diving into the details of those finances is something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Okay. Let's create the shopping list. Okay. And then we'll take a look at the bank account. We don't have it right now. Or we might for some of the smaller projects. You could
Right. I mean,
prioritize.
there are ways to get things done, right? And even if we have some pie in the sky ambitious agenda, I still want to set that and see, even if we can't do it now, even if we can't do it 2 years from now, what can we do in the next 4 years to get us on track to be able to achieve it? So I don't want to say no automatically just because of current circumstances.
Omar Ochoa is our new mayor for Edinburgh. He's on the job and he's a week into the honeymoon, and they're taking inventory of some of the improvements projects, city works issues that they likely need to do over the next 90 days. Will there be public input on this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So like I said, I'm meeting with residents along the way as well. And getting their input on what is it they want to do, and then once we have the opportunity to start talking about the agenda, laying this out, I do want to make that publicly available so that people can comment on it.
Have you? I know it's only been a week, but you think about this from. I know you do because you talked about it on the campaign. Economic development and some of the recruitment efforts. I know that some of the local offices, they do emphasize the local growth and retail and things like that. But Edinburgh has the potential with the university and the research that is done, the engineering school, all those things. We have investment from people like, let's say, our friend Joaquin Spammer and some of the big square footage projects that they have in the area. Well, what about the vision over at EDC? With the high-tech potential, the potential for high-tech to get here, either data centers or things like that. Do you see that that effort being more aggressive under your tenure?
Yes, absolutely. And so I met with the EDC board on Monday evening as well when they had their regular meeting. I had my first city council meeting on Tuesday. And so I've already met with the EDC board, and it's the same thing, right? Getting through what it is that they've got on their plates right now, and starting to get them to run together as well with that same agenda, right? Which is being aggressive on recruiting large industry to the city of Edinburgh. I think there's multiple pieces that we can do. We talked about tech. Zoho is already coming in over to that Echo Hotel Center. I think there's other opportunities for that. And then healthcare and trade skills, I think, are two big areas that we can recruit as well.
Yeah, the hospitals in the area.
That's correct.
As well. What happens to the golf course next to Echo? Is that sold, or what happened to that?
No. The city
City
still owns it, and that is still able to play. So if you want a 9-hole course, that's the best 9-hole course in the valley. The clubhouse for that is already plans to redo it, and it'll be turned into a workforce resource center in addition to office spaces, along with a clubhouse.
On the economic development side, would it require a retrofit of some of the incentives, the way you package incentives for some of the bigger industry that come to, in order to create a bigger carrot,
right?
To try to lure them here?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a retrofit, but I do think we need to get creative, depending on what specific needs are for any specific company. You've got to come up with an individualized package. But there are a lot of tools in place, right? Everything from 380 agreements dealing with tax abatements to property sales tax abatements,
And those are all in place already, and usually packaged into some proposal.
You're correct.
That's put forward with
That's right.
to other industries.
Yeah, that's correct. Like I said, there are a lot of tools already available in state law. And so it's just a matter of finding creative ways to use those tools that incentivizes the right industries.
Sometimes the creative side of it would require a phone call to Austin and get the governor's team, the EDC team, to help. Is there collaboration with them? Is there a regional approach to this, regionalism that's being applied to try to somebody land a chip maker, somebody land a data center down here, because we're tired of hearing North Texas and West Texas, everybody else get all that high tech. It's about time that we get something down here. You know what I mean?
I understand exactly what you're saying. And I think, working with the local delegation, our state reps and our state senators, right, in addition with the governor's office, lieutenant governor's office, I mean, these are all things that we need to be doing, not only on economic development, but on a number of different issues, drainage, for example, roadways, thoroughfare plans, as another example. And that is things that we intend to do. But you are right, to the extent that there are additional economic development means that we can do, we, the city of Edinburgh, along with others, can work directly with our state delegation to get, new means passed through the state legislature. Of course, we're a year plus out from the next legislative session, so we'll have to be planning for that over the next year.
Yeah, unless of course they decide, or the government decides, we need a special session for X, Y, Z. You guys should have passed this last. You never know what happens. Yeah, Omar Ochoa is our new mayor for Edinburgh because of growth in our city. Every time we had a chance to speak with Mayor Ramiro, he would tell us about all the subdivisions, all the hammers flying everywhere. Is that growth still at breakneck speed right now, or is it tapered off a little bit as far as construction?
No, it is. The construction is still going strong in the city of Edinburgh. I think we have it's over 100 subdivisions that are in the pipeline. And so it is something that we are still seeing. Of course, you always want to monitor those things because economic conditions change, labor changes, material price changes. Demand changes, interest rate changes, all these things can affect a housing market specifically. So obviously always want to be keeping an eye on it, but there are still lots of subdivisions in the pipeline right now in the city of Edinburgh.
To almost 100 still?
Over 100.
Over 100 still in the pipeline.
Yeah. In some phase or another, a permit's been requested, a permit's been issued, they are under construction, they're being inspected, but it is a large number of subdivisions in the pipeline.
Just a sidebar mention, I think it's worth, for the nerds that are tuning in right now, all this information, they love
I'm
KURV.
one of them.
Yeah. I heard yesterday, there was state leadership that I had a chance to listen to. Somebody commented. In fact, it was our new state senator, Adam Hinojosa, with a comment last night at a gathering. He said that Corpus Christi, folks up there said no to a desal plant to provide more water for their community. Their water source, whatever aquifer or lake, whatever, is down like to 10 or less than 10%, something like that. They're about to run out of water like in a few months.
Yeah.
And they have stopped, speaking of homes, they have stopped new permits up in Corpus Christi because, they got no water to approve for all those houses, all those homes, all the rooftops that are coming. That's that. Sucks to be them, but that's we're not Corpus, but something to think about because we're so dependent on the Rio.
Absolutely.
And water's still kind of low.
Completely agree with you. I've been following the news developments over in Corpus. It's a sad state of affairs that they are in. I don't know all the details, right? So I can't say kind of what's going on with what, but it's a very clear sign of what a lack of resources can do to a thriving city. It can slam the brakes immediately.
Yeah.
So in the city of Edinburgh, we need to be forward thinking as well.
Yeah.
We're not quite in that position yet, where we're looking at moratoriums and not issuing permits on development because of lack of resources like water. But we don't want to get in that position. So we are already looking at different proposals that we can do to prevent that.
How time flies, man, because that's what was going to be my last question. I hear so many different communities talk about desal. McAllen desal project, like $200 million project. Brownsville celebrating theirs, and there's a lot of desal brainstorming taking place. How about Edinburgh? Has there been any conversation in Edinburgh to set up your own desal and complement the water supply with millions of gallons? At least a portion of what you have.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Of course, there's been conversations about that. And those are conversations that have been had and that I'm bringing up as well.
Okay.
When you talk about desal, there's two different methods. One is desal off of the coast, right? That's very salty water, obviously, in comparison to brackish water underneath us. That's less salty, but still needs desal processing. And that's the type of desal that McAllen is moving forward on. Edinburgh has the ability potentially to do that as well because we also have brackish water underneath us. So that is a conversation that's worth having. But there are other ways also. There's more reclamation projects that we can do to be able to store stormwater instead of letting it run off into the coast. So there are multiple ways, I think, of attacking this low water issue.
Yeah, I think that's going to wind up on your shopping list here in about 90 days.
100% correct.
Right.
Yes.
Anything else before I let you go, Mayor?
No, this is a lot of fun. I hope I can come back in the future.
Yeah. Say hello to your dad.
I will.
Over the pharmacy right
Yes,
now. He's
absolutely.
probably filling out orders right now. Yeah. As Omar Ochoa, our mayor for Edinburgh. Thanks for stopping by, Mayor.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, your station for Houston Texan football. We got the Texans, I believe, they're hosting the Bills, Buffalo Bills tonight, 6:45 broadcast on 710 KURV. Check of sports up next.
Spotlight on your health. Brought to you by DHR Health.
From the Gastroenterology Institute at DHR Health. Our guest today is gastroenterologist Dr. Pratik Suresh Harney.
I see patients in the clinic, also perform procedures for them both in the outpatient center and in the hospital. They can be regular endoscopic procedures or complex endoscopic surgeries. I was trained by a person in Houston, Dr. Nirav Tosani, who's running the largest clinical trial on pancreatic cancer treatment endoscopically. And that's my vision for DHR. The greatest thing about DHR is that people make the place. That I truly believe that the people in this institution really are bent towards caring for people. Go the extra mile to take care of someone as if they were their own family member. That, I think, sets it apart from any other institution that I've worked with, apart from obviously performing cutting-edge endoscopic and gastroenterology needs. We perform every procedure that is known to gastroenterology here at DHR that you would provide at any other institution that I trained at. And combine that with our research team. Our research team liver diseases, which is very
The Dallas Mavericks were able to keep it a one-possession game, but fell just short as they fell to the New York Knicks last night, 113-111. The game was neck and neck throughout as it came down to the Knicks missing 5 of their last 6 free throws, and Brendan Williams making a layup to tie it, but getting called for an offensive foul, sealing the win for New York. This ends up being the first road win for the Knicks, and the Mavs their third loss by a one-possession score. Next up, the Mavs stay at home to face the Pelicans Friday night, another team desperate for a win. The Houston Rockets showed that they can hang with the top teams as they took down the Cavaliers in Cleveland 114-104. The Rockets dominated the first quarter, holding Cleveland to 19 points while putting up 33, including a 14-0 run at one point. Cleveland began their comeback in the third quarter as they held Houston to 17 points, but the Cavs' defense couldn't hold on as the Rockets scored 40 in the fourth, which put the game out of reach. It was another big night for Alperen Sengun, who finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Next up, Houston returns home to face another playoff team, the Denver Nuggets, Friday night at 8:30 on Prime Video. Jen Nelson, TSN Sports Minute.
Thursday Night Football, Texans take on the Bills in Houston. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud will miss his third straight game due to a concussion. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders will make his first NFL start Sunday against the Raiders in Vegas. NBA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped in 33 to help the Thunder knock off the Kings for their 7th straight win, improved to 15-1. Pacers beat the Hornets, snapped their 8-game slide to pick up just their 2nd win of the season. That's sports. I'm Ronta Moss.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. AccuWeather says highs for today should be low to mid 90s. I'm still grieving from the update, Zach. So enjoy. Upper 80s, low 90s today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Here's the update. Monday, Tuesday, Chihuahuas. My goodness, it's going to be hot all the way till Tuesday next week. And then Wednesday, everybody be nice now. Don't make the meteorologist mad now. Wednesday, maybe we get a cool front right before Thanksgiving. Be thankful for that. Porter Bridge wait times. That's posted on KURV.com. Let's see here. So if you're driving back to the McAllen Mission Edinburgh area, 30 to 45 minutes at all three bridges. And if you're driving back to the Brownsville area, no update for Brownsville. Yeah, they're still eating the breakfast tacos, the tacos right now. Delicious. This is the Valley's Morning News. This is Newstalk 710 KURV. Business news and a check of your money up next. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing is the roofing outfit you should call. For free, get everything checked by top experts at Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing, a company with 125 plus years of experience, a company that you can trust to do it right. The repair, or let's say you've drafted out new plans, you've got those plans for a new building. Yeah, you need the top workers, materials, the workmanship. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing with the advice for your specific style of building, what will last the longest and keep you and your tenants, keep them safe from all that heavy water coming down and ruining operations. Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing. It could begin this relationship that is going to do you well. It could start by a simple phone call or text message to a number I'm going to give you in just a few seconds. You call them and invite them over to all your properties and let these top experts take a look at the commercial roofing system, see if there are any weak spots up there, give you a very intelligent guesstimate on how much longer you have before water coming into your building is going to be an issue. Make the call today. And if you got a new building, you need Chamberlain because it's in their name, waterproofing. Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, cutting-edge roof installation and repair technology, advanced waterproofing solutions, 956-655-6178.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drt'sprimarycare.com.
Changing the game in orthopedic and sports medicine. That's what we do at DHR Health Orthopedic Institute. From joint replacements to sports injuries and fractures, our expert team uses advanced, minimally invasive techniques to get you back on your feet. We're proud to serve the Rio Grande Valley with multiple locations and a commitment to personalized care. Call 956-362-6683. That's 956-362-6683 or visit dhrhealth.com to schedule your appointment today.
Experience everything Bert Ogden Cadillac in Edinburgh has to offer. Service, selection, and quality. Indulge yourself with bold design and step into EV luxury and lease a new Cadillac Lyriq. Now just $439 per month during the Cadillac season's best event. More style, more innovation, more you. Make your move. Set yourself apart and discover a new standard of luxury ownership. Visit us online at BertOgdenCadillac.com or come in today to Bert Ogden Cadillac in Edinburgh, where legends are made. Dale gas!
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
Let's see. AccuWeather says highs today, upper 80s, low 90s. Copy paste the forecast. I kid you not. Let's see here. Is there any reference to rain in here? Let's see. Tomorrow, same thing, like low 90s. Clouds, sunshine with a thunderstorm in a few areas tomorrow. Okay, we'll take it. Hopefully it happens. Same thing on Saturday. There's a small chance of something popping up somewhere. Man, if you take a look at satellite and radar, north of us, Central Texas, up North Texas, man, they're getting slammed right now. It's all bone dry down here. So let's see if we can get the tail end of that sometime tomorrow and Thursday, even Saturday. But highs will stay in the 90s, upper 80s, low 90s until Tuesday. Yeah, so much for the cold front early next week. No, if we're lucky, it'll be midweek next week. Yeah, sorry for the bad news. I know you wanted some cool weather for Thanksgiving week. Or maybe not. Some of y'all papelitos out there, it's too cold. Ah. Right. Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on Newstalk 710 KURV. What did God make to keep you healthy? What did God make to help you with pain relief? What did God make for joint health and better sleep? You will find it. I'm convinced you will find it at Major Health Foods. 44 plus years of experience. You know, man, you do something for 44 years. You will become the master of that craft, that trade, that market. And that's Jolynn. That's Beto Art helping out Jolynn at Major Health Foods, South 10th and Jackson Avenue in McAllen. They've got the supplements that they're waiting for you. They can tell you the top brands, and that's all they represent. At Major Health Foods in McAllen, that is only the best, only the top brands for health, for healing, for better sleep, for kidney health and liver health. Go find it today. I know all of us think the same thing. You got to eat a little smarter, more intelligent, maybe get a little bit more exercise in. Yeah, well, you do that, and you be sure to stop by Major Health Foods, South 10th and Jackson Avenue in McAllen. Trust the advice of my friend Jolynn and Beto and Art, all the gang there. 44 plus years of experience dealing only with the top brands and men and women supplements. Keep healthy, and of course, try the juices that they press daily and the very healthy, smart, the lunch options that they have for you as well. Those salads, everything they pre-pack for you. But try the juices. It's what God made to keep you healthy. Pain relief, better sleep, joint health, and liver health, kidney health. Go get it. Major Health Foods, South 10th and Jackson Avenue, McAllen.
Save more with the #1 team in Texas, Bert Ogden Buick GMC in Edinburgh. Take advantage of amazing savings and drive a new Sierra 1500 for just $139 a month. You heard right, $139 a month during the big year-end closeout. Plus, ask how you can make no payments for 90 days. We know who's #1, you, our valued customer. Come see Billy Kelly and his amazing team in Edinburgh today. We shop the competition so you don't have to at the #1 team in Texas, Bert Ogden Buick GMC in Edinburgh. Official sponsors of UTRGV football. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hi there, my name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile-long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
Come into Genesis of Harlingen today and soak up the feeling of the dynamic yet elegant design and cutting-edge technology that makes up the amazing Genesis vehicle lineup. Visit today and choose from a great selection like a 2026 Genesis GV80 with an impressive 0.99% APR for 36 months. Come see where refined sophistication meets powerful innovation at Genesis of Harlingen at 8521 Expressway 83 in Harlingen. Shop from the entire line of Genesis online at genesisofharlingen.com.
News and information to start your day.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
It's the Thursday edition of the Valley's Morning News. It's now November 20th, 2025. Appreciate you joining us on the radio. Yes. Producer Zach also will catapult us this morning. At 7 o'clock hour, we're doing 710 KURV YouTube and 710 KURV X and Facebook, all that live stuff. Catch the video. I'm Sergio Sanchez, show producer Zach Cantu. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. Going to keep things hot. Chihuahuas, upper 80s, low 90s for the next several days. Hopefully, cross your fingers, toes, and everything. Maybe we'll see a thunder shower somewhere in South Texas as early as tomorrow. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Can military members refuse orders if they're illegal? A video from 6 Democratic lawmakers racking up 11 million views on X. Fox's Rich Edson at the White House.
The Democrats have released this video as if they questioned the legality of military strikes on boats in the Caribbean. The Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel has signed off on that campaign.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn calling it inconceivable, saying it stems from the Democrats' hatred of President Trump. A blowout second quarter for Walmart, posting strong sales and profits that crush Wall Street expectations. And country star Keith Urban reveals the 2025 Entertainer of the Year at the Country Music Awards on ABC.
Lainey Wilson.
Wilson hosted the show, also won Album of the Year and Female Vocalist of the Year. America's listening to Fox News.
The West Texas federal court said no to the redrawn congressional maps for Texas that would have given Republicans could have given Republicans 5 more congressional seats. Again, a West Texas federal court said no for now. It is being appealed by the Texas Attorney General to the Supreme Court. But now that the redrawn maps have been thrown out, for now, what happens next?
Right now, what we're really waiting on is how long it takes for the Supreme Court to respond to the expedited review that the state of Texas is going to request from the Supreme Court.
Joshua Blank is the director of the Texas Politics Project at UT Austin. He says it could take the High Court less than 2 weeks to make a decision, but with the candidate filing deadline coming December 8th.
I mean, that's the hard date because, again, they don't want candidates to file for districts and then change the districts.
So as Blank says, at this point, we've got a lot more questions than we do answers. Russell Scott, TSN News.
Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV on your radio, and do for us like you do for everything else. Join us on your smartphone. The free app is called Radio Para Mi. Download it and go look for us. 710 KURV is at Radio Para Mi. And a big hug and a good morning, Mark and Carla, McCaleb, all the McCaleb clan in Weslaco, McCaleb Funeral Home, the McCaleb family, pillars in our community, folks that you can trust with a very sensitive issue. Yeah, I know you don't like to think about heavy stuff like this for breakfast, but put it on your to-do list and get it out of the way. It's pre-planning and pre-paying what is it's on our calendar. Each and every one of us have that date, and it's on our calendar. We just don't know when. But the Lord has the final say, and when the Lord says it's time to come home, I think that you, like my mom and dad did for me, I think that you would like to make things a little easier. Get a lot of the stress of making all these decisions, detailed decisions, a lot of decisions that need to be made after the Lord calls you or a loved one home, and then prepay for this, because that's also part of the stress. So just remove that. My mom and dad did this for me, and I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord for them, and I thank God that they did this, because it made things, well, let's just say at that time, you don't want all that stress, all those decisions. You just want to be quiet and be with your immediate family. And you definitely don't need the stress of having to pay for that funeral. So pre-plan, prepay. Very loving thing to do for your family. Carla McCaleb, a McCaleb member, will come to you wherever you are and help you make all these decisions and put it on the shelf. Wait on the Lord. Carla McCaleb, call her, text her, 956-650-2841.
Ah, the eternal struggle. Too hot? Too cold? Forget about it. Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and HVAC will make your home a true Goldilocks zone. Don't bear it alone when your fairy tale home feels like a nightmare gone wrong. Mighty Mike is your shining hero who will save the day with service that's